Hello and welcome back to another episode on Heal Out Loud. Today I want to talk to the woman who has dreams that she's so afraid to say out loud. The one who wants more from life, from love, from herself, but every time she gets close, something inside her whispers, "Who do you think you are?" This episode is for you if you've ever felt this way. Today we have a special guest with us, Julia Schmidt. Hello, Julia.
Hi. Thank
Hi.
you.
Thank you for being here with us on Heal Out Loud. Julia is here today because I love her energy on social media. I love the way she managed to flip certain negative things that happened in her journey to embodying and becoming the version of herself that chases her dreams, that lives fully, lives loudly. So, hello, Julia. Would you kindly tell us a little bit about your journey? Because maybe people who see you online, maybe they might think that you are lucky, that life just was always good for you. But can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey?
Yeah, hi Nicole. Thank you so much for having me here. First of all, I'm really excited. This is my first podcast, so it's really exciting. And yeah, so I'm Julia. I'm originally from Germany. And so I would say my journey of that, like traveling, going out there and seeing the world and just really like living my life on my own terms. It kind of started when I was already in school. Like, I think how it was is that I grew up in Germany in a small town and I always had good friends around me, but sometimes I felt like I was a little bit too much. And over the years, I also sometimes got into conflicts with other girls. I got like maybe sometimes a little bit bullied, which was back then honestly like really, really hard. And I still don't really know why I got bullied, why these girls were like mean to me. But I think it was just because maybe I was too much, I was too more. And it doesn't really matter why it happened. But I think fact is that this thing shifted a lot on me where I was like saying, okay, I can be whoever I want to be, and people will always find mistakes on me. And they will always find something they can criticize or they can talk bad about. So I was like, you cannot do anything. You just have to focus on yourself. And I was quite young. I was probably like 12 years old or something. And I was like, okay, um, all I can do is just be myself, make myself happy, and do the things I really want to do and work on the things I really want to do. And I think that was like a little bit the starting point where became quite confident about myself and about my life and about the things I want to do. And I think that just stretched all over school, all over my life, the things I did. I eventually made good friends. I felt really comfortable again. And then when I finished school, I always wanted to travel. Like I always was like, I'm going to travel for 2 years. I'm not going to study. I'm not going to stay in Germany. But then COVID happened, so I couldn't travel. And I first worked a little bit and that stopped then as well because you couldn't work during COVID in this industry anymore. And then I just looked up one day, like, where can I go? And then Costa Rica popped up and I was like, Costa Rica it is. And then I didn't know back then about like the backpacking culture or that backpacking does even exist. But I booked a flight and then I was researching about what am I even doing there? And then I was like, oh, okay, it's like kind of like a backpacker country where you go with your backpack and you travel around and there are hostels and all that. And that was perfect for me. Like that was actually the perfect thing. So yeah, I just jumped in the plane and went to Costa Rica. And obviously I was scared. I remember, I think when I booked the flight, I was just like so determined that I want to do that. But then once I booked the flight, I was like, oh my God, like I want to be by myself. I don't know anyone. I don't speak Spanish. But a friend of mine just said to me, like, Julia, you're going to be fine. Like, there are going to be other people. Like, don't worry about it. And well, I had the flight already booked. I couldn't step back. So I went and it was like, I think that was like really the turning point again, like the second turning point of my life where I was like, wow, like this is me. I can do this. I love this. And yeah, it just changed a lot for me. And I met my partner there. He's from Argentina and we met in Costa Rica and he's from Argentina. And that obviously also helped to nourish the international energy and traveling and all that. And yeah, we worked a while in Europe. We keep traveling, working, traveling like this. We were really young. And then we came to Australia. And then, yeah, we just wanted to stay there for like half year or something, but we just kept staying longer and longer and longer. And at some point we were like, okay, let's get PR. Let's stay here forever and let's get residence here, because we did really well. We had our businesses, we had good jobs, friends, everything. And so we ended up staying 4 years. So my partner, really long. My partner had a sponsorship visa, which usually gives you permanent residency. But then, which I think a lot of people who follow me saw on Instagram, what happened then is that the company got sold. And then what happened is that in the same time, the occupation he was sponsored on got taken off from the list, which just basically meant we had no sponsor anymore. And yeah, we had to leave Australia. And that was obviously really hard. And yeah, it was really, really hard leaving, but now we just kept going and traveled a bit in Indonesia, and now currently I'm in Germany.
Wow.
Sorry.
Julia. No, that's amazing. I felt some goosebumps when you were saying about your experience of buying the ticket and just saying like,
Yeah.
okay, now I have to go. I felt that many times in my life. You buy the ticket and then after you're like, oh my God, I'm going to be alone.
It's a good thing. If you're like scared, just buy the ticket and then think about the consequences.
Yeah, that's so true. And also what I liked from what you were sharing with us, and thank you for sharing all of that, is that I feel that you started really living your life once you accepted, like, listen, I can't please everybody. The only
Yes.
person I need to please is me. So as soon as you, and obviously we will always, it will never be that we will never be 100% free from people's judgment. Sometimes they do get to us. But what I feel here is that what shifted your perspective towards life, and your life changed completely once you decided to put yourself first and to accept, like, listen, some people might not like me and that's okay. And you found your tribe whilst you were traveling, and you found your partner. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Something else because that's how I started following you, from your Australian visa issue.
Yeah.
Because for me, it was very hard to go back in Australia as well, because after COVID, my visa expired and all of that. So that's how I got to know about you. And something that really, really stayed with me when I was seeing your story is that although all of this happened with your Australia life, like you had friends, you had your work, you still managed to accept the fear, put a huge smile on your face, and go to another amazing place on this planet, Lombok, Indonesia. So I know, like, you lost your visa, but I feel that you still found your freedom once again. What is that type of energy like? If to the woman who's listening to us, what would you tell her? Like, setbacks are gonna happen in life, and clearly your setback was a big one, to let go of the things you found in Australia. What mindset did you use? What techniques did you use to push through?
I think when I got the news, obviously it was like really hard. I was like, oh my God, this cannot happen, because obviously I did felt lucky. Like I did feel like things were like going to place and things were happening good for me. And then this like big bomb crashed into my life, which was so hard because I kind of identified myself with living in Australia. Yeah, like that was part of my identity. And so I was like, damn it, like, what am I going to do now? And that was really hard, and also just hard because I just loved my life there. But when I got the message, of course, it was really hard the first days. But then I was like, okay, like, I have this thing in life that I always think you can either be sad, or you can just accept the fact that things are not going so well and just be still happy and still working on other goals and working on the future and working on your surroundings and working on your well-being, working on yourself. And that's just what I did, because I just think like this happened to me and this really, really affected my life. And I can either choose to be sad about it, or I can choose to still be happy and be positive and just still feel good, because like essentially like that one like event happening in my life, I didn't want that to affect my mood, my well-being, my whole life. And I actually read something the other day, or a content creator said that which is like, the phase you're having right now is just a phase of your life. It's not your entire life. So I think that also really helped me, or still helps me right now, because I'm now back in Germany, my childhood room, which we maybe come back to it later. But yeah, I just decided I cannot affect, like, this event affect my well-being and my mood. So I think I really kept positive. And what else I did as well is like I focused on other things, because the location and where I'm living and what friends I'm having, that's not the only thing in my life. So what I did is I really focused on my work, on my personal brand. I started posting more on Instagram. I really grew my following. Yeah, I'm organizing now my retreat. I started more working in the online space, because I knew I have to work remote, I have to work online, and have to make money online, because I'm not gonna get to the next country and get another job there. So I think that like just making yourself clear that you can choose to be sad or you can choose to be happy, and just try to choose to be happy. It's not always easy. Like, I had really bad times. I cried. I felt shit. It's not that I was always happy, but at least I tried to be happy. And I think that helped. And then focus on the things you can control. Like, don't focus on the things you cannot control. Focus on the things you can control. And in my case, there was just posting on Instagram, opening my personal brand, taking first brand deals on, and yeah, just growing my career space, or yeah, just growing my professional area. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. You gave such good points. And the
Thanks.
thing that I hear the most in you is acceptance. You're
Yes.
constantly accepting what is,
Yeah.
and to know that we always have a choice. We can choose to be sad, we can choose to be happy. And of course, as you said, like, tough times they're gonna be tough, but we can make them tougher, or we can make them a little bit smoother. So wow, amazing. Thank you, Julia, for sharing all of that, because they're really, really good points. And even whilst you were speaking, I was relating to my own life, and
Yeah.
what you just said about something being just a phase in your life. That's an amazing. I will keep that with me for sure.
Yeah,
For
it
sure.
really helped. I was like, wow, this is like a good way to look at it. Really good
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So true. Thank you so much.
Thank
Something
you.
that I saw on your Instagram is, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was like something like fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Yes? You told yourself you wouldn't check his phone again, yet you checked it. You promised yourself that you're not going to chase someone again that's going to make you feel unworthy. You told yourself you were done chasing someone who makes you feel like an option, but you're still waiting for a text back at 11 p.m., wondering what you did wrong. You've read every book, you know what anxious attachment is. You probably sent that voice note to your best friend, and it starts with, I know I'm being crazy, and nothing has actually changed. But here's what nobody tells you. This pattern isn't a mindset problem. It's older than any relationship that you've ever been in. It was wired in your nervous system before you even knew what love was supposed to feel like. And you cannot think your way out of something that lives that deep. Break the Pattern is a one-day workshop where we go back to where it all started. The real root, not the version that you've already processed. And we interrupt it. One day, to finally understand why this keeps happening and what it actually takes to stop it. Link is in the show notes. See you there. Yeah. And I feel that from that sentence, what I understood is that you trust the universe,
Mhm.
even if it hurts.
Yeah.
Is that, yeah. And how do you stay so consistent with trusting that everything is going to work out for you? Like, how do you manage to keep on faking it till you make it, basically?
Yeah, I think that the fake it till you make it is kind of my life motto, but I think you can translate it in two ways. I think the one way I mean by that is like, whatever you want to do in your life, like, you gotta, and you're afraid of it because it's something unknown, it's something uncomfortable, it's something you've never done before, but you really want to do it. you have to fake it till I make it. So when I booked my flight to Costa Rica, I faked it till I made it. I just booked it. I was like, this is not what I've ever done before, but I just book it and then I just try to go in there. And I remember a situation in the hostel when I arrived in Costa Rica. It was my first hostel, like, you know, never been to a hostel before, never been to speaking much English. And so I walked into that hostel and there was this group of people sitting there just chilling, how it is in a hostel. But obviously me not knowing how hostel is, it was really strange. And then this American, really nice guy who was like, hey, how you doing? And I was like, is he speaking to me? Does he really want to know how I feel right now? Because in Germany we don't say that. We don't say how you doing. We don't say that, you know. In America it's different, or Australia or something. And I was just like, I'm good, I guess. Thank you. I had a long flight, and I just kept like talking. And then I realized, oh, okay, he does actually want to know how my flight went and all that. And from that moment, I also like faked it till making like everything that happened in that hostel space or in that travel flight. I just acted like I already knew how it's going, even though I didn't know. I just let myself like go. I played really cool. I was just like super confident, and I was not. I was really not. But that's like another way of like fake it till you make it. Or when I started posting on Instagram, I never posted on Instagram before. Like I have now 23,000 followers I grew that in a year. And I started with like 1,000 followers, like private Instagram. And I was like, from the beginning, I told myself, you just have to fake it till you make it. Like you just have to act like you already know what you're doing, even though you have no clue. So when I post a video of me, so when I speak in the camera, that's a big thing. I was just like, I'm acting like I've done this 100,000 times. And trust me, it didn't look good. The videos I did, they were not good, but it's just practice. And then at some point you make it. And then that's just how you get, I think, to your goals. And then what you were saying with trusting the universe, I think what I did is I think it was now 3 years ago, I started working with my coach. So she's like my life coach, I would say. And we really worked on all these things. Like I think working with her really, really changed my life. Like she's just so amazing, and like it really changed my life. Like I can recommend anyone to work with a life coach or therapist or anything in that space. And she really taught me to like trust the universe. Everything that is happening, that's just happening. You can't, first of all, control it. To a certain extent you can, but some things you can't. And trust that the things are working for you. Trust that everything that is happening for you, that is happening for a good reason. And I guess she told me so many times that I believe her. So, and I also think it's easier. I think it is easy if you live by that, you know, because in life, so many things are happening. And if you always think, oh my God, why is this happening? Oh my God, this is happening to me. That shouldn't happen to me. You will never find peace, and you cannot focus on the things you can control. So I just choose to trust the universe because it works and it's easier. Honestly, it's easier to trust it than not to trust it.
Wow. Your words sound like a really big comfortable hug, because it's so
Thank
nice
you.
to I say these things to my clients all the time. And I second you so much on working with a life coach or any form of coach that you might need in life. It helped me so much to work with coaches. And I see the fruit that all my clients get from doing this life coaching with me and inner child healing. But it's what I tell my clients, like faith and fear both demand us to believe in something we can't see. So we choose. We always have a choice. We go back to what you mentioned about the choice. And also, like sometimes if being negative and constantly complaining hasn't been working for you, what's there to lose to try a different way?
Exactly.
So I love all that you shared. It makes so much sense, and it makes what you're saying, like your life is proof of what you're saying, because otherwise and I know you had to move to Germany, and maybe we can touch a bit about that, but you're still on socials, like smiling and like giving all that positivity. And I think I started following you when you had around 5,000 followers, and then all of a sudden, so what you're saying is really true.
Yeah.
whoever's listening, please listen to Julia, because her life wasn't always positive things, wasn't always rainbows and butterflies. She had stuff that challenged her, as Julia's saying, but this is what trusting in the universe and pushing through and shifting your mindset does. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
And I don't know if you want to share a little bit about your plans now. I know you have a retreat too, so if you want to share with our listeners, maybe they would want to join you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so as I mentioned, I lived in Lombok after Australia for a little bit. And I decided I want to do a retreat here. Like, I want to bring people here because, first of all, it's a beautiful place, but I also really want to bring people there to, like, that want to believe in themselves and want to believe in their dreams and just need a little extra push. And the retreat is like a little bit of a mix of like a lot of fun. Like, we're gonna surf, we're gonna enjoy the island, we're gonna do a day trip, we're gonna do jewelry making and do yoga and just like have a nice holiday. But also, on the other hand, like really tuning into yourself, getting to know yourself, and like really getting to know your dreams, like really knowing like what is actually my dream and how can I also get there. And I think it is so important to sometimes get back to this. I've also did one event in Australia about strength based like finding your inner strength, which means like getting to know what you're good at. And that is really, really important also to find your dreams also professionally, like maybe what you want to work in or what business you want to create or whatever it is. And so we're also going to do that, like really tapping into your strengths or like what are you good at, because it is so important to know what you're good at, because you can just be so much more empowered and confident and just really embrace yourself, because everyone is good at something, but sometimes we focus too much on what we're not good and what we can improve and all that. So yeah, it's like a nice mix between like that and like growing and working yourself and really being confident and believing in yourself, and then the holiday part and having fun and like also finding like really, really good new girlfriends and like connecting with like-minded people and hopefully getting really like a nice crew together. So yeah, that's about the retreat. And right now I'm in Germany, and yeah, I'm just here to like see my family, just settle back a little bit to the roots. I want to heal a little bit the thing with Germany, because I didn't really like it here ever, like the weather and all that. But I really want to heal that, because I think it is important to have a home, especially if you're someone like me who never really has a home. Yeah, and it's also a good time to just calm down. Like, I have nothing to do here. I have one gym. I don't even have a car. I just work all day, but it's great. It's relaxing, and I feel like life doesn't run away for once, because usually I want to do always things and it's great and I live the life and I'm like full energy. But now maybe it's a little bit of time to calm down. Yeah.
Yeah. And you soon have your retreat coming up. It's in September, no?
Yeah, so it's from the 1st to the 7th of September. So I'm gonna be flying there. So yeah, there's still a few spots left. So if anyone wants to join, yeah, check out my.
Amazing.
It's Julia Schmidt. Quite easy.
I will add all the links down below so people can find them definitely. And I just came back from a retreat, a yoga retreat. And what I can say, I have always loved retreats, but this retreat really helped me to connect with other people and to connect with like-minded people, because you're all there for a similar reason. And it was amazing. I felt so alive. And so for anyone who's listening and maybe you do not have the strength right now to press the button to buy the flight to Costa Rica or to somewhere alone, even maybe if you do not have that strength right now and you want to join someone who's been where you're at and with like-minded people, I am pretty sure that this retreat is going to be amazing. I've visited Lombok too, and I love it there. I could literally move there depending. Sometimes the weather tends to get to me a little bit there. It gets very
Yeah.
humid, but other than that, it's amazing. And thank you so much for all that you shared. And I wish you to heal the roots because I feel it. I was always running away from Malta. I felt it. Malta's a very tiny island, so I felt very suffocated here. But now I feel like I've healed what I needed to heal before I set off. So I get exactly what you're saying.
Beautiful.
And yes, sometimes we're constantly running, so we do not sit with our feelings. But
Yeah,
if we keep on running away from our feelings, then they will slap us in the face big time. So
exactly. Sometimes it's good to go back to the roots and calm down and just, if you can, just do that.
yeah, and to know that you have a home, because as humans, we do need a base to know
Yeah.
that, listen, if anything happens, I can always fall back on home. So yeah, amazing. What would you say to the woman who's listening right now, who has a dream, but she feels paralyzed? Like she's very insecure, very anxious, and she won't even let herself like want it properly. What would you say to that woman?
I think I would say to think about what you're afraid of. Like if let's say you have a dream, but you're afraid to follow that dream because you're afraid of that. I would really ask myself, what is it that I'm afraid of? And then maybe you realize, because if you have a dream, you actually want to do it, right? And sometimes the chemicals of fear are the same chemicals of excitement. So maybe you're partly afraid, but also you're partly just really excited. So just like really make sure, what are you afraid of and how can you solve it? So like, are you afraid of losing your job? Are you afraid of running out of money? Or are you afraid of being alone? And then think about what you can do. So maybe you want to travel and you're afraid of being alone. Then think about going to a country where there's hostels, Costa Rica, for example, or Bali, or because you will never be alone. Or if you're afraid you will run out of money, well, maybe lock in for another half year and take a few extra shifts and make more money just to feel more safe. You don't always have to go for it in that exact moment. Just make yourself feel as safe as you can. But then also, if you really want to do it, book the ticket. I think it is really helpful to just book the ticket because you can't go back. And because we will always be scared and we will always be afraid, but it's just important to overcome that wall. I always think like if you have a decision to do, or like, for example, Australia, like before I left Australia or had to leave Australia, I was in front of the wall, and the wall was basically the flight out of Australia. And it was really hard before that. And once I took the flight and I was already out of Australia and I was on the other side, it was okay. It was fine. It was all right. So, yeah, I think that's what I could really say. Like getting yourself as safe as possible, but then also just press that button and book it. And then you just have to jump over that wall. Yeah. And just go for it and believe in your dreams, and just also think like, if I have that dream, and I will never do it, I will regret it so much in my life. I will regret it so much if I don't do that. And life is so short, and you really have to live it in your terms, and you really have to live it how you want to live it. And otherwise, you will never able to fully expand and to fully be yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. So beautiful. So
Thanks.
beautiful. And I want to add with that exactly what you just said. We only have one life. We think that we have enough time, but really and truly, like if a dream has been planted in your heart, it's there for you to achieve it. And once you start achieving your dreams, you attract people who are on the same wavelength as you. And you can be fully yourself, and you keep on attracting really good things because that's just how the universe works. As soon as you get on a positive frequency, you start receiving more things like to be grateful for and more positive things. So we have one life, go live it. The short is very ride. And as Julia said, make yourself as safe as possible. I think as humans, we want to feel safe. Our brain constantly tries to help us stay safe by trying to perceive danger, but you can prepare yourself, like Julia said, and then you can have a plan and set off with that plan. And you're still going to feel fear. I had some decisions to take this week. I think it was Monday, and I felt so much fear. But as soon as I did it, all the sadness felt like it evaporated. the fear is
Exactly.
still there. I still feel the fear, but
Yeah.
I'm so happier and lighter
Yeah.
and like
Once you
joyful.
did the decision, you felt better.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Thank you so much, Julia. I will add your on how you can contact Julia. I will add her Instagram down below. I will add her retreat, and definitely Lombok is the place to be. And a retreat with Julia would be amazing because you're
Mm.
so open-minded, so kind, and so full of energy. It's amazing. So
Thank you so
thank you,
much. I'd
Julia.
love to see some of you.
Yeah. Thank you, Julia. And we'll see you again next week for another episode on Heal Out Loud. Thank you.
Bye.